This is my TNA Slammiversary 2013 pay-per-view review. The pay-per-view just went off there a little while ago. As far as my thoughts of this TNA pay-per-view, I thought this was a really good show from TNA from top to bottom. You saw a lot of good stuff. Really enjoyed the opener. Really exciting X Division match to kick off the show with the Ultimate X. That was really entertaining. The Aces and Eights six-man tag was fairly good. Really, the only things I didn't like on here was probably the gut check match and the Devon match with Abyss. I didn't think the match was much of anything, but I did like seeing Abyss win the television title. Kurt Angle getting announced as the second inductee to TNA's Hall of Fame. That was a really cool segment they did on the pay-per-view. The four-team tag team elimination match. The action of it was good. I just did not like the eliminations, and the way they kind of did the eliminations kind of hurt the match a little bit. You saw a really good women's match on here. Probably one of the best women's matches I've seen from mainstream women's wrestling from WWE and TNA in a long time, with Gail, Kim, and Terrell. You saw a really good women's match there with the last knockout standing match. Kurt Angle and AJ Styles, good match like they always have. And the main event with Bully Ray and Sting. I'm glad they did not have Sting win the title, and Bully Ray is still champion. I thought it was booked very well. I was a little worried at first that they were going to have Brooke Hogan cost Sting the title, and in that way, thankfully, they did not go that route. I was a little worried when they brought her out, and I really liked the ending of the match. Bully Ray keeping the title, Sting not winning was good. It's probably one of the matches from Sting I've enjoyed the most in a long time. Really good main event. Just a good show from TNA. But let me get into the review. The first matchup was the Ultimate X match for the X Division title. This was Chris Sabin versus Suicide versus Kenny King. Great action here, non-stop action. Good way to start the pay-per-view. The crowd was really into it, and I thought the outcome of it was perfect. Sabin, has been battling these injuries for the last year or so. He's, been out of the loop, and he wins the X Division title here. Great way to start the show with him winning the X Division title. Match-wise, give about 3.5, maybe even 3 4 stars. Really good stuff in here. A lot of good spots in the match, and Chris Sabin ends up winning the X Division title. At the end, you saw Kenny King. He was like dangling at the top. Chris Sabin got him down and then grabbed the title. Chris Sabin wins the X Division title. Then after this, Hogan comes out. A little pointless segment for the most part. This just felt like, we have to have Hogan on the show, and he came out here. In some ways, I didn't hate it as much as some people probably would think I did. He kind of did do a pretty good job of putting over Chris Sabin. I did like that, and this led into the next match. Hogan came into the ring. He was talking, and then he gets interrupted by the Aces and Eights, the members that were going to be in the six-man tag, Mr. Anderson, Wes Briscoe, and Garrett Bishoff. Hogan does a promo, berates them and everything. Then after this, you get the six-man tag, Aces and Eights, Mr. Anderson, Wes Briscoe, and Garrett Bischoff versus Magnus, Samoa Joe, and Jeff Hardy. Fairly good six-man tag. It wasn't great, but you saw some. I really liked when Magnus and Joe team up. They really have some great chemistry with each other. The only thing I would have loved to see more in this match was more stuff with Mr. Anderson and Jeff Hardy. Them two have really good chemistry against each other, and you didn't really see as much in the match with them two that I would have thought you would have seen in this match. And Jeff Hardy picks up the win for his team in this match after pinning Wes Briscoe after hitting the Swanton. About a 3-star match, a good solid, six-man tag. Then the next matchup was probably the one match I could have dealt without on the night. This was Jay Briscoe versus Sam Shaw. This was a gut check match for the Bound for Glory series. Jay Briscoe won this match. Jay Bradley won this match. Wasn't much of a match. Jay Bradley's not terrible, but even considering he's been in the wrestling business for a little while, because he's been in developmental for a long time in OVW and stuff, you would think he would not seem to be so green in the ring, but he just doesn't do it for me in the ring. Not that good of a match, probably 1.5 stars at best, and I'm probably being a little generous. Then the next matchup, well, before the next matchup, I had explained they did a backstage segment. This was Devon and the Aces and Eights. They were beating down Joseph Park, bloodied him, and the way it ended was really cool. I like the way they ended it. He was bloody, and his hands, and in one of his hands, touched the wall, and you saw blood coming down on the wall. Obviously, everyone knew what was going to happen here with Joseph Park being written out right there, at least for the time being. Then Devon comes out here, tells the ref, Joseph Park obviously is not going to compete. Declare me the winner via forfeit. And Devon, wins. The ref counts, till 10. Obviously, Joseph Park doesn't come out there. Devon then goes. Then after this, he's declared, the winner. Then Devon says, well, if Joseph Park's brother Abyss was here tonight, then I would beat the hell out of him, kick his ass. And obviously, you knew this was foreshadowing. Abyss comes out here. We get the match, Abyss versus Devon for the TV title. Wasn't a terrible match. Obviously, I like the outcome more than the match itself. The match wasn't too much of anything, but I did like seeing Abyss win the TV title. He hits the Black Hole Slam on Devon for the win. 2 stars. The next thing they did was Dixie Carter coming out there, announcing who's going to be the second inductee to the TNA Hall of Fame, which they'll be doing this when they do Bound for Glory. Bound for Glory, they'll be doing it over that weekend. And the second inductee, well-deserved, Kurt Angle. They did a great video package. Kurt Angle was tearing up in the ring. Just a real good emotional moment right there. Angle definitely deserves this. Great performer and just a great segment. Then the next matchup was the 4-team tag team elimination match for the TNA tag team titles. This consisted of Bad Influence, Christopher Daniels, and Kazarian versus James Storm and Gunner versus Bobby Roode and Aries versus Hernandez and Chavo Guerrero. The action in this match was really good. I thought it was a good tag team match. The only problem I had with this match was the way they did the eliminations. Now, obviously, TNA's done this a lot, other companies as well. When they don't have an elimination pretty early in the match, they just have all the eliminations come out pretty much towards the end of the match and come right after each other. And I just do not like when companies do that because it really tarnishes the match a little bit and hurts it a lot, especially the way they kind of did some of the eliminations. And here in this match, the first elimination came when Christopher Daniels used the TNA Tag Team title belt, so that got him disqualified. So him and Kazarian got disqualified in this match. Then the next elimination came when Chavo gets eliminated. So the final 2 was James Storm and Gunner versus Austin Aries and Robert Roode. I was wishing that they would have had Austin Aries and Roode versus Bad Influence in the finals, but the finals wasn't that bad. I mean, James Storm, obviously, has past history with Roode being tag team partners with him, but James Storm is a great tag team competitor, and this team with Gunner right here, I think it's a really good team. James Storm can really help him a lot. This will improve Gunner's career a lot, And plus, this is one of those things. James Storm can do something right now. He's not going to be, lost in the shuffles. He can be in this tag team. And they can do some good stuff with this, which TNA obviously has a lot of, things going for this tag team. At least in their head, they think this tag team can be something big because they already won the tag team titles. They were the ones to defeat Austin Aries and Roode in the finals. They eliminated them after James Storm hits the last call into Aries. Then Gunner gets Austin Aries up in his torture rack, the gun rack as he calls it, and eliminates him. So Gunner and James Storm are the new TNA Tag Team Champions. Good match as far as the wrestling in it. The only problem I had with this was the way they handled the eliminations. But even with that all in consideration, I'll still give the match 3 1/4 stars. It was still a really entertaining tag team match nonetheless. The next match was a match that I was somewhat looking forward to, but I did not know what to expect from it. This was the women's match. This was the last knockout standing match with Gail, Kim, and Tyler and Terrell. I did not know what to expect from Terrell in this match, but she really impressed me here. Great stuff to start off the match. Good back and forth action within the ring. Gail Kim took one major fall. There was a chair in the corner. She went to go after Terrell. Terrell moves out the way. She falls to the floor, hits the chair, falls to the floor. They did some things on the ramp, and the ending of this match was really good. Gail Kim, she was trying to go for a pile driver onto the stage to Taryn and Terrell in this match. Taryn and Terrell countered that, and the end of the match comes with her hitting the Bulldog to Gail Kim off the rampway to the floor. Really good ending right there. Gail Kim doesn't get up, so Taryn and Terrell wins this match. Great way to end the match. 3 stars, probably one of the best women's matches I've seen out of the mainstream companies, WWE and TNA, in a long time. If you're a fan of women's wrestling, now, don't expect, a spectacular, greatest women's match ever, no. Don't expect that, but expect to see a good women's match. If you're a fan of women's wrestling, I would recommend you to check this match out. Check that match out. Then the next matchup was Kurt Angle versus AJ Styles. Obviously, with these two, they've taken on each other so many times. We've seen some great matches from them. This was a really good match. Not an excellent match. I was expecting a little more from it. I thought the ending of the match kind of came out of nowhere. I thought they could have went a little longer with it. Kurt Angle picks up the win in this match. A really good match, though, and obviously made sense with Kurt Angle winning this match over AJ Styles, since they did the whole, Hall of Fame inductee thing at an announcement earlier in the show. So good, for Kurt Angle to go over, since they did that earlier in the show. As far as the match, I get about 3 1/4 stars, maybe 3.5. Good match with the two, but I've seen better from them. But then the main event was Bully Ray versus Sting for the TNA title. No holds barred rules. This match really shocked me. I wasn't really expecting much from it, because Sting, I'm a huge fan of Sting, in the NWA, WCW era, and loved him back then. But some of his, recent TNA stuff, he hasn't been that great in the ring. I mean, he's lost it a little, but he seemed like he had it in this match. I mean, him and Bully Ray had a really good main event. Definitely one of Sting's best matches I've seen in a long time. Really good stuff in here from both of them. Good back and forth action. The crowd was into it. Then the end of the match, they did one thing that I was a little worried that they were going to go with. But they had, at one point, they had Brooke Hogan come out there, and I was like, God, please don't have her have a role in the finish of this match. I was a little worried they were going to do that. Thankfully, that did not happen. Towards the end of the match, you saw Bully Ray. He was cutting the ring apron off. He was pulling the mats under the ring apron off, exposing the ring. And then he pile drived Sting onto it twice. Sting ended up kicking out of both times. Sting attempted to do it to Bully Ray. Bully Ray countered it. And then the end of the match came when you saw members of the Aces and Eights come out there, beat down Sting. Sting's able to defend himself, low blows all of them, kicks them in the nuts, gets them all out of there. And then you see Bully Ray, he gets a weapon involved in this match. He ends the match with Sting going off the top. He's trying to do something to Bully Ray. Bully Ray hits him with the hammer, so Bully Ray retains the title that way. I know some people probably say they could have done a little better ending than the hammer shot right there. They could have done maybe a table spot or something, but I thought even with that type of ending, it was still a good match with Bully Ray and Sting. Really good main event. Really enjoyed it. I was surprised how much I did enjoy that match. As far as the main event, I'll probably give it 3.5 stars, maybe even 3 3/4 stars. I actually did enjoy it that much, and it's probably been one of the matches with Sting I've enjoyed in a long, long time. Good way to end the show. Bully Ray still champion, which does a lot of things. With Bully Ray still being champion, it would have really looked bad for the Aces and Eights angle if Sting was able to defend himself, get all the Aces and Eights members out of the ring, and then win the title. It would have made them look really bad. So with Sting losing and Bully Ray retain the title here, you can keep going with this angle, still have a little heat to it. So that's the good thing right there, especially since it's a fairly good angle from TNA, the Aces and Eights angle. As far as the pay-per-view, I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10, maybe even an 8.25 out of 10. Definitely a show I would say is worth checking out, and that's it for my TNA Slammiversary 2013 pay-per-view review. All right, peace.